Okay, if the Earth is flat, then how does gravity work?
Asserting some new claim and saying this is what's actually happened. It's like,
no, I'm not saying.
Hold up, why is this one actually?
It's actually happening, dude. You gotta do something about your mic, man.
Who is it?
Nicky Cat.
If you see the
Because you
video,
see the curved shadow of the Earth at the top of the moon. I'll ban you, dude. On the top of the ball, and he's looking at the moon. And the sun. There's no way.
Well, no, I have a question. Hold on. Doesn't light take about 5 minutes or so at least to travel from the sun to Earth?
It's eight. It's 8
Okay,
minutes.
8 minutes. All right, so 8 minutes. Let's say that happens. The light's
It's 5 minutes.
over 5 minutes.
I have a question. If you're standing on the New York coast and the Earth is actually flat, how come you can't see Europe or Africa or the Himalayas or anything? If there's no curvature of the Earth, how come you can't see them? It's just ocean.
Atmospheric refraction. Light always bends towards a denser medium, so light will hit the ground before it hits your eyes when it's traveling through a medium. If we were in a vacuum, if the Earth was a vacuum and it was flat, you'd be able to see from one end to the other. But because there's an atmosphere, light always travels towards the denser medium.
Also, if you just pull up like a weather app on your phone, like any weather app, it always tells you the visibility. So your eyes can only see a limited distance. So you can't. Well, there's water, there's particulates, there's a ton of stuff in the atmosphere. But your eyes, there's a vanishing point of how far your eyes can see. So it would be impossible to see that far across the plane like that.
Well, how come we can see stars in the sky?
Because the stars are much closer.
It's the angle you're looking at. You're looking up, so that way even though it bends down, it's still able to hit you.
But you're looking forward.
Right? But if you're looking straight, you've got 3,000 miles of dropping down in a straight line. You know, it's not dropping the same height. Like, just think about the angles that these lights are being emitted with a constant downward curve.
Yeah.
There is a curvature then of the Earth. And it's
No,
round.
the curvature is not of the Earth. The curvature is of atmospheric refraction with a constant downward curve.
The atmosphere absorbs light. It attenuates light. You'd be lucky if you can see 600 miles with a telescope.
Atmosphere gets thick and then hides it. That's what you're saying.
Well, it's called atmosphere. It's called optical extinction. Okay, so you have the optical thickness of the atmosphere, and you're talking like 3,000 miles. That's like trying to look through a piece of lead.
Interesting.
So the thing about the stars too is that, I mean, nobody's measured how far away the stars are. So really, you know, nobody really knows exactly. You know, it's not like that's been measured to compare it.
They have measured the stars.
They've used astronomical
Yeah, they've used pseudoscience and fake models to say that they've done that, but I don't think any of that is real in my viewpoint.
Like measure how far it takes the light to travel.
Okay, and you know exactly how they do that. So could you tell us?
Yeah, they see how long it takes the light to travel, and then
how are they doing that? How are they doing that? If they're just seeing light, how do they know to measure it traveling from the star all the way to you?
Astronomical units.
Yeah, they measure it in that.
With what? With their equipment that no one else has any access to? What do they measure it with? Do you know? No, because what they do in this heliocentric deception is NASA feeds data and puts a story behind it, and if you accept the data, if the data is wrong and you've accepted it, or it's made up, or it's fabricated, or it's used...
Why are you getting so triggered?
I know, but you can't prove something by making something up, making up a story, and then having the story, prove the thing you made up. Like, in my mind, like...
I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't understand a damn thing he said. Okay, if the Earth is flat, then how does gravity work?
I'll jump in. I always say that I have my viewpoint on it. I think it's an electrostatic effect that has to do with the fact that call it the dome or the heavens or the sky, whatever above us is positively charged, and the Earth plane is negatively charged, so it creates a dielectric inertial plane. And when that kind of short circuits, we get lightning and things like that. So there's a connection electrically, but so I think that kind of shows it. And so there's buoyancy and density, of course. So things that are gravity, they don't say gravity is static electricity. They say gravity is this force that is this whole thing that causes orbits and that also causes things to cling to the center of the Earth. So yeah, they have a whole different explanation. They call it this kind of question mark force that's never been proven, but they have their theories around it.
So that electrostatic stuff, that's what causes videos to buffer on YouTube?
Wait, what are you saying when you upload videos to YouTube, you said?
No, does that electrostatic stuff cause videos to buffer?
Oh, well, I mean, everything's electricity in my view, so there's a huge amount of electricity that's making that YouTube video play, from the servers to all of the connections to your computer. So, yeah, I mean, that is electricity. It's not quite, well, I mean, it could be seen as electrostatic. It depends on how you define electricity, but yeah, that is the flow of electricity coming, you know, the way all information is processed. As you go up, every meter rises by 100 volts. So basically, as you go up, your voltage is increasing, but you don't have any current, so...
That current maxes out at the same time every day, everywhere in the world at the same time.
What?
Really?
At 7 p.m. British time, that current is at its maximum everywhere in the world at the same time.
Wow, that's incredible. I
have a question. How would a satellite go around Earth if it was flat?
I would say everyone I know who consider themselves a flat earther does not view that there are the satellites they tell us that are out there. So there's not satellites that are orbiting due to gravity, but there likely is balloons and other kinds of drones and things that are out there.
Wait. I thought that there wasn't gravity, it was the electrostatic stuff.
You said that.
Yeah, no, what I was saying is that satellites, they tell us that gravity is making these satellites cling to the outside of the globe and go around. What I'm saying is that those don't exist. Those are completely fake, and every picture you ever try to find of one is clearly CGI. There's no real pictures of them. And
you bought a weather balloon and tied your camera to that and floated it, and you could see that the Earth has a curvature.
So numerous of those have been done. If you research it, there's been tons of high altitude footage from amateurs, upwards of 125,000 feet.
Amateurs.
There's been several of them done from all different people. Some people flat earthers, some people not flat earthers. So yeah, there's a ton of that footage, and it all shows, depending on, you can't use a fisheye lens, but it shows a really incredibly flat horizon as far as the eye can see. But yeah, you can definitely look into all of those, and there is no curvature. But of course, that is going to be dependent on camera equipment, so that could always be debated. But I've seen it to where I'm like, yep, that's it. Like it's definitely completely flat on all those amateur high altitude footage. But of course, on NASA, we see all this curve and different angles of curve, different degrees of curve, depending on different times they've done footage. It's totally inconsistent, the curve that NASA shows.
So wait, if California is on the edge of the flat Earth, couldn't you be able to see into space if you're standing on a high altitude?
Good point.
Not if you're in a dome.
Yeah, my view is there is no outer space the way that they tell us outer space exists. Like, all of that is fabricated. What actually is up there, I mean, technically none of us have been up there, but we have shot some rockets. There's one called the Go Fast rocket from like 2003 or 2009, I forget. Yeah, so there are some rockets that show that. But yeah, all of outer space is fabricated and not real, in my view.
Okay.
So what about Mars, Jupiter, all the planets that you can see when it's like nighttime or daytime?
And the moon.
Like the Earth?
Aliens.
And that's because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. Space is a vacuum. The Earth is a pressurized.
No, but what about stars? I mean, if there's no space, how could there be stars?
On the planets, there are videos for you in a lobby chat.
Their videos?
Who's explaining why there's stars but there's no space?
But
Any amateur telescope or high zoom lens on any level always shows what we call the planets as a small circle of light, sometimes pulsing, slightly different colors, but that's really all they look like from our view. Of course, Saturn does have two little kind of wings on it. Some people in ancient cultures, they call them horns or wings, and there's different ideas, but it definitely doesn't look anything like what NASA shows us. So all we see are these lights, but NASA shows us these, like, you know, complete high definition kind of clearly photoshopped kind of images of what the planets are. So they've made up that idea that isn't real, but what we really see are the lights.
So basically what you're saying is like a government thing just photoshopped an image that they probably got off of the internet. And
every single
on like a public website. I don't believe that theory is true.
Well, if you just go to NASA.com, every single image of the close-ups of planets that they claim to be getting from like probes and different kinds of things, that's what I'm referring to. It's all CGI.
NASA.com isn't an actual thing.
You can prove on their own web
How did they
page.
make the Mars rover footage?
True.
That's at Devon Island in Greenland or something.
Oh, okay.
What the hell? So what about the giant telescopes that they have in the domes that look out really, really far into space?
Have you ever seen any of the pictures they generate?
So you're basically saying they're fake? Is that what you're saying?
What's the largest telescope you've looked through?
Probably like
your mom.
Listen, I remember the days. Listen, I'm 46 years old. I remember the days before Hubble. Okay, and I remember what the images looked like. They look like crap.
Why aren't you kissing your wife?
Or go to work
sleeping
or something.
Because they were generated before Hubble. They're trash.
Have sex with her.
Why don't you mind your fucking business? How about that?
Oh,
why don't you go get a life?
Yeah, when did this go from like the science?
Because she started talking about my personal life. Mind your business.
Yeah, that was.
Man, just mute that girl. She's gonna be rude. There's too many people to deal with her.
But just, you're 46-year-old.
Can you mute this chick? She's annoying the shit out of me.
Banning her, so that's the end of that story.
He's a guy.
Please.
This is so
Storm
stupid.
is a guy.
You guys are so fucking dumb. Earth is round. Earth is round.
Can somebody, like, we got an admin here?
What is Antarctica though? Like, I heard it's like an ice wall or something.
Waz, what you brought up is true. If Antarctica is a circular ring or an ice shore or an ice wall around the flat Earth, it should be thousands and thousands of miles longer than a small continent on the bottom of a globe Earth. And there's a lot of different explorers who have reported just that they went to the southern South America and they planned to get around the continent, but it ended up taking like years and years of time. I could look up some of the detailed ones, but there are at least accounts of people who explored and just found that they were going on for tens of thousands of miles on and really, never almost reached an end. So that does match with the idea that it is a huge, much longer mileage ring on the outside rather than a small continent on the bottom of the globe.
But what if you were like fly over it? Like, would you go off into space? Oh wait, sorry. Space
if you can get permission from all of the 100 Antarctic signatories, then knock yourself out. But if we could do it that easily, it would be done.
To be a little bit conspiratorial, I mean, there's a treaty, the Antarctic Treaty, of all these countries that are more or less, by definition, they're conspiring to create this treaty to limit people like you and I, regular civilians, to be able to freely explore there. So that right there is literally a conspiracy to keep Antarctica, blocked off from all of us. So, I mean, even that right there shows it.
Well, I have the last thing to say. The Earth is round. The Earth is round. Got sent to detention.